Is CTV News with Nafisa Kareem.
I just want to see this happen in more places, all over the city. This is amazing that it's here, but I want this everywhere.
Tonight, bringing creatives together, a new kind of arts hub in Victoria is hoping to help artists thrive.
Strategy is very pro-growth. It recognizes the taxation benefits and job creation benefits of the visitor economy.
Growing the tourism economy, the ambitious plan to double tourism revenue in BC. Plus, Adam finds out how a Victoria woman's surprise birthday inspired a viral video. Later on the Sawatsky sign-off. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. We are taking you inside a new neighborhood hub tonight, which is dedicated to helping creatives thrive. It's a place where people can get a new business off the ground or build confidence in using various tools. As CTV's Anna McMillan shows us, this is just the beginning of a project dedicated to dissolving barriers to creative expression.
A few years after finishing a furniture-making program, Sinead Ocean is getting back behind the tools.
I just haven't been able to do it. I haven't really properly made furniture since I graduated.
The primary reason?
I did rent a shop for a while, and it gets really expensive, and if you're not working at it full-time, it's not really sustainable.
She's part of the team at a new Makespace in Victoria, which hopes to change that.
The creative economy on Vancouver Island is overlooked and under-leveraged. We have an abundance of talent. What's missing is the infrastructure to support that talent.
This is Makespace. The wood shop is opening soon, the fabrication lab opened last month, and the cafe has been up and running since July. It's across from Crystal Pool in the North Park neighborhood.
In a city that is this expensive, if you cannot get access to tools and space, you are economically excluded.
The nonprofit's executive director, Jenny Farkas, says here there are low-cost workshops and demos. Memberships are based on a sliding scale model, costing $30 to $75 a month.
Makerspaces traditionally have overserved a small segment of the population. Mostly it has been men who have been comfortable going into spaces with tools and figuring it out very sort of DIY.
The space is open to everyone, from creative entrepreneurs to newbies.
Tonight I have the how to use a drill and how to use drywall anchors class, which is for women and genderqueer folk.
One of the most exciting things is our screen printer.
Alder Jules is a drag artist and says the fabrication lab is a game changer.
I am now creating things for it that I wouldn't have thought possible. Just this morning, I 3D printed a pair of manicured fingernails.
He works for Makespace and sees it as a place where creatives can come together and realize their potential.
In this day and age when you don't really know who your neighbors are, creating a community hub like this where the access point is just figuring out how to do something is extraordinary.
Farkas says she's put nearly $400,000 of her own money into the project. Now she's looking for investors.
What we need is $1.5 million, so $500,000 for the next 3 years, to give us the stability to prove the model.
She hopes it's proven so well, other spaces like this can open across the city, so untapped talent has more places to thrive. Anna McMillan, CTV News, Victoria.
Several groups are banding together, calling on the federal government to take urgent action to support Chemaina's sawmill workers who are about to lose their employment insurance benefits. In a letter from Western Forest Products, the mayor of North Cowichan and the United Steelworkers Union, the group is asking for clarification on temporary EI measures announced last year meant to help workers impacted by economic disruptions like those related to U.S. tariffs. 120 workers have been off the job since the mill curtailed operations last summer. Now, about 80 workers have been notified their EI benefits will end in March, even though the mill curtailment has been confirmed to be extended through 2026.
frustration for the workers is it depends on who they talk to with Service Canada. So some of them will talk to staff from the federal government who do give them the extra 20 weeks. Others have run into barriers. So what I've done, teamed up with United Steelworkers, which represents the workers, as well as Western Forest Products, the employer, we sent this joint letter calling on the federal minister responsible for EI to address these issues.
Douglas calls the rules surrounding EI confusing and would like to see a dedicated Service Canada liaison appointed for the workers. From cruise ships to whale watching and even high tea, Vancouver Island's economic heart beats because of tourism. And today, a new ambitious plan looking a decade ahead aims to pump billions into the vital sector. CTV's Brendan Strain has more.
British Columbia is a major international tourist destination, and that is one of the key sectors driving our economy.
In 2024, tourism generated $23 billion in annual visitor spending.
The province is looking to grow that industry through the Look West Tourism Sector Action Plan, which aims to raise BC's global presence as a premier destination for travel.
It is first and foremost a plan focused on revenue growth.
The province's goal is ambitious, looking to double tourism revenue to $48 billion by 2036. There is no new money attached to this plan. Instead, it's a strategy that will look to bring more major international events to the province. There will be a focus on attracting more conferences, as well as marketing to those international travelers that have higher spending power.
We're really happy.
The CEO of Destination Greater Victoria says the province always has a plan to grow its tourism sector, but the last strategy fell short.
This strategy is very pro-growth. It recognizes the taxation benefits and job creation benefits of the visitor economy.
The tourism sector in BC employs roughly 113,000 people and is the #1 employer of youth. The plan will also focus on encouraging travelers to visit every corner of the province.
We want to make sure that as we are marketing British Columbia, that we are marketing to all regions and all 4 seasons.
In a time when the province is dealing with a record deficit and falling revenue streams, it hopes to harness, capitalize, and grow its tourism sector in order to help fuel the economy moving forward. Brendan Strain, CTV News, Victoria.
Victoria's $10 million investment into community safety and well-being. 2 new downtown bylaw and police hubs have just opened, targeting safety in the Pandora and Lower Douglas areas of downtown. The city says the community field hubs, to be staffed by Victoria bylaw officers and Victoria Police, will better support enforcement, coordination, and act as a launch site for downtown foot patrols. The spaces will not be open to the public, but rather act as satellite offices for officers.
It's funded under the Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan. It's part of the $10 million that we put into it. The whole thing costs about $150,000, so it's not a huge cost, but it will create some operational efficiencies and meet the demand that we're hearing from the public just to have more of a physical presence of officers on the street. So it's about enforcement, but it's also about coordination.
The plan was approved last summer. It outlines 11 priority actions to support the first phase of the Safety and Wellbeing Plan. The 2 hubs are part of that. Other efforts will focus on prevention, intervention, and enforcement solutions. Police in Sooke are asking for the public's help to find the owner of a shotgun that was found loaded underneath a vehicle. The firearm was found in the 2100 block of French Road South in Sooke. It was loaded and appeared to be discarded under a parked car on the side of the road. RCMP say the gun did not belong to the vehicle's owner. Anyone with information is asked to contact RCMP or Crime Stoppers. Well, you may have heard it, seen it, or even felt it. A flash illuminating the night sky, followed by a big boom. People all over the South Coast and even down in Washington State were jolted by it. It happened just after 9 p.m. last night. The American Meteor Society suggests it was likely a fireball type of meteor that is larger and brighter than normal. A professor in physics and astronomy at UBC says it's not a rare event around the world, but witnessing it is a rarity.
Coming with so much energy, hitting the atmosphere, the denser parts of the atmosphere, causes the rock to just break apart. And when it does that, it's moving supersonically. And so as it breaks apart, its area becomes much, much larger. And as a result of that, it then vaporizes, melts, and breaks apart even more, dumping all that energy into the atmosphere, creating then a very, very intense sonic boom that people can hear.
Natural Resources Canada's earthquake early warning operation says a few local seismometers on the lower mainland clearly picked up the shaking. We are getting a first look at some potential new police puppies who need you to help name them.
The point of the contest is we go out and we ask kids to give name suggestions, and then we can have a lot of names to give these dogs.
This year, suggestions need to start with the letter B and be fewer than 10 letters. Kids are encouraged to be original and imaginative in finding names that will serve these puppies well into their careers with the force. Entrants have to be between 4 and 14 years old. Goodness. Well, still to come, Israel increases airstrikes and Iran widens its response.
Numbers are increasing. We have more than 80,000 people, including 24,000 children, forcibly displaced in Lebanon.
Israeli forces confirm they've begun a 10th wave of strikes with U.S. forces hitting deeper into the country.
Bit of rain this morning, then sunny breaks through this afternoon. We're at 9 degrees at the harbor right now, 10 at the airport where we hit 12 for a daytime high earlier today. Tell you what's on the way for tomorrow in just a few minutes.
CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Plan, book, and safeguard your journeys. Explore the possibilities at expediacruises.ca.
Well, Josh, it cleared up quite nicely and warmed up too.
Yeah, and I think we'll see some more sunshine tomorrow. Yeah, it still looks pretty wet across pretty much the entire island for Friday. But tomorrow should be just partly cloudy skies, at least in through the Victoria area. Show you the rest of the island forecast in a moment. It's 10 degrees at the airport right now. As we showed you, it was 9 at the harbor, 12 for the daytime high today. Port Alberni's at 13 and 8 in Port Hardy. Overnight tonight, just partly cloudy skies. There's tomorrow morning and there's tomorrow afternoon. So a little cloudier here for some inland areas and further to the north. May even see some showers already by late in the day tomorrow. Certainly by Friday morning, that rain is falling from Tofino north. Comox probably gets some rain already by Friday morning. Kind of holds off in the Victoria area until the afternoon hours on Friday. So through the morning, should be just cloudy skies. Watch your rainfall totals. Only about 4 or 5 in Victoria, but closer to 10, Nanaimo, Port Alberni, maybe 15-ish in Comox, and the big winner, North Island. 30 to 50 millimeters worth of rain. So we'll call that heavy rain for both Friday, and there's more of that on the way for Saturday. For tomorrow, chance of some rain starting in the evening hours through the daytime hours. Looks like just cloudy skies. High of about 7 tomorrow, and then warming all the way up to 10 in the rain on Saturday. Inland areas, mostly cloudy tomorrow, high of 10. Then a chance of some rain in the evening. Certainly going to get some rain through the day Friday, possibly Saturday into early Sunday morning as well. Temperatures look pretty mild, though, for the next 4 days, somewhere in the 9 to 12 degree range, so average to slightly above average. Out on the west coast, from Tofino north, you'll start to see some rain late in the day tomorrow. South of Tofino, I think you're just looking at mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies tomorrow. High of 9. Rain on the way for Friday with a high of 10, and some more rain in the forecast for Saturday. Dries up on Sunday. Out on the west coast, different story for Comox, though. You get a chance of some late day rain tomorrow. That carries through the day Friday. Highs in the 8 or 9 degree range, and then a chance of showers for both Saturday and Sunday. In fact, in the Comox area, it's a little more likely that you'll see showers on Sunday than Saturday. Evening rain potentially in Nanaimo tomorrow. Otherwise, just partly cloudy skies with a high of 10, 9, and some rain on Friday. And then a chance of some showers Saturday night into early Sunday morning. So most of the daytime hours through the weekend should be dry with temperatures in double digits for daytime highs. 7 degrees in Victoria tomorrow morning. Partly cloudy and a high of 10. maybe 11 tomorrow afternoon. A little breezy, wind out of the west, 20 gusting to 40 kilometers per hour. Don't forget it's time change this weekend. You get 10 and some rain on Friday. Saturday, slight chance of showers in the morning. Dry for most of the daytime hours, and then Saturday night into Sunday morning. Another chance of some showers rolling through. None of that really looks like heavy, steady rain, though. CTV Weather's brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. So enjoy the sunshine tomorrow, although a little on the gusty side in the afternoon.
Yeah, we'll be springing ahead for the last time, so thank you, Josh.
That's right.
New research suggests health labels and minimum pricing be used on the sale of alcohol to help prevent cancer. The study comes from the University of Victoria's Canadian Institute for Substance Use Research. It set out several scenarios to reduce the number of alcohol-related cancers in Canada and found combining a warning label and a minimum price of $2 per serving was the best way to reduce cancer rates and death. The reduction was the largest in lower-income populations and younger age groups. To the Middle East now, where Tehran and other Iranian cities are still under bombardment from the U.S. and Israel, with Iran and its Lebanese proxy retaliating, targeting Israel, Arab nations with U.S. bases and diplomatic missions, and now NATO member Turkey. CTV's Adrian Gabriel has the latest from Istanbul.
Pulled from the waters along the southern coast of Turkey, this is the remains of a NATO interceptor missile that knocked an Iranian attack out of the sky. Turkey's President Tayyip Erdogan saying his country is in close consultation with NATO allies while warning Iran a similar incident cannot occur again. In Iran, thunderous explosions echoed across the besieged nation as Israeli forces confirm they've begun a 10th wave of strikes, with U.S. forces hitting deeper into the country. In the 5 days since this war broke out, more than 1,000 people have been killed in Iran, according to a U.S.-based human rights organization. In Lebanon, smoldering debris sends smoke billowing into the sky in Beirut, where the IDF has vowed to uproot Iranian-backed Hezbollah after it launched strikes into Israel.
The numbers are increasing. We have more than 80,000 people, including 24,000 children, forcibly displaced in Lebanon. Many were still displaced since the previous escalation.
This video shared by the U.S. Department of Defense showing the moment a U.S. submarine sank an Iranian warship. The bodies of some 80 sailors reported dead at sea, located by rescuers along the southern coast of Sri Lanka. With 3 other NATO nations, Greece, Britain, and France, sending naval and Air Force personnel to Cyprus following Iranian drone attacks there, this expanding conflict has reached new shores. More than 100,000 Canadian citizens and permanent residents in the Middle East have registered with Global Affairs Canada. CTV News visited the Canadian consulate in Istanbul to try and ask questions on behalf of Canadians stuck in the midst of this conflict. Passport in hand, security inside this building refused to allow us to enter the consulate. Our request to interview Canada's ambassador to Turkey was also denied.
This is Adrian Gober with CTV National News.
One official speaking on background tells CTV News that a range of options are being looked at to help evacuate Canadians by land and air, while assisting those in Iran remains the most difficult, without an embassy inside that country. With war on the horizon, a sunset call to prayer preaches peace in a region and a world where tonight it's in very short supply.
The attempted missile strike here in Turkey makes this the 11th country targeted by Iran since this war began. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Istanbul.
Coming up, caught on camera. When Annie gave herself a haircut in the 3rd grade, she never would have imagined it would inspire a viral video when she turned 30. Adam shows us how, next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Finally, Adam finds out how a Victoria woman's surprise birthday inspired a viral video on tonight's Best of Sawatsky Sign-Off.
Annie will never forget the night before her grade 3 picture day when she decided to do something different with her bangs.
Decided I didn't want them anymore, so I just started cutting.
And never stopped to think she should consult with a grown-up first.
And my mom walked in and she saw it and she was like, oh no.
And ever since, Annie's friends have said oh yes to the resulting photo, which they all have copies of.
You know, whenever anyone's bringing up an embarrassing childhood photo or things like that, we're like, oh, you got to see this one.
So Emily and Jen decided to somehow include the picture during Annie's upcoming surprise 30th birthday party.
We wanted to do some sort of dress-up theme night.
So they rented a house for the weekend and surprised Annie by inviting friends she hadn't seen in ages. But that was just the beginning.
So after dinner, I just kind of said, everyone, off you go. Emily said, do you mind sitting on the couch? And I'm going to give you a blindfold. And
after her eyes were covered, Emily got Annie to put on a custom t-shirt emblazoned with that grade 3 photo.
And I literally had no idea what was happening.
We all kind of gathered around, then said, take the blindfold off.
Well, being surprised to see a picture of yourself on a t-shirt is one thing. Being surprised by 18 of your friends dressed up identically as yourself in that photo is something entirely different.
And I died laughing. I was crying laughing.
Their plan couldn't have gone better, Emily and Jen say, until an unplanned viral video from the night did.
It just makes it all that much more hilarious.
The surprise has been watched by more than 9 million people and counting on social media and been broadcast across the U.S. on The Today Show.
Oh, they nailed it. Same hair, same shirt.
Annie says her grade 3 self couldn't find it more fun.
She would love it. She would say, that's a great haircut.
And her 30-year-old self couldn't be more grateful to have friends like these. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
The Sawatsky Sign-Off, brought to you by Coastal Community Credit Union. Bank happy at Coastal Community Credit Union.
That is it for CTV News Vancouver Island. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night.